Spring is in the air. We all want to get out and enjoy the changing season and get some fresh air. There are numerous trails throughout Cambridge. And I was delighted to show you my favorite winter walks. Now I'm going to be showing you 3 trails that you might not know of, and all of them have a bit of surprise in them. Canadian spring can be snow one minute and 15 degrees the next. You'll see from my footage. So pull on your hiking boots as I take you on some early spring trail walks. Devil's Creek Trail can be extraordinary in the springtime as the melting snow rushes through the area. I wish I could tell you there's some exciting tale of why it's named Devil's Creek, but I couldn't find anything. I'm going to start off your hike with a bang by starting at the Devil's Creek Falls. On the side of George Street North, in between Blair Road and River Bluffs Park, there's parking for 2 cars. You can join the path here and walk down to the Devil's Creek Falls. This path is part of the Grand Trunk Trail, which forms part of the Trans-Canada Trail, which is the world's longest network of recreational trails. You'll come up to the falls very quickly. The water plunges down 12 meters over limestone cliffs, and these bluffs are the remnants of an ancient reef, when millions of years ago this area was covered by warm tropical water. There is a spectacular view of Grand River and the Galt Golf and Country Club on the other side. Walking under George Street, through the tunnel beside a chute of rushing water, there's a small scenic falls when you come out into the sunshine. You're going to follow the trail with the meandering creek beside it. This will lead you to Blair Road and Morva Roos Park, named after the wife of a former Galt mayor. There is parking on either side of the road here, and if you're not able to park on George Street North, then you can park here, walk north back to the falls to see it, double back, and you can start the trail. At one point this meandering creek had been straightened with little vegetation growing beside it. Trees, bushes, and grasses have been planted to stop the further degradation and to stabilize the bank, plus creating a wildlife habitat. This part of the trail is paved and leads you to Bismarck Drive. Across the street you'll see a sign that points to where the trail starts again on the other side. This part of the trail is on gravel. The creek now is on your left-hand side. You'll be coming up to another trail and the boardwalk that's beyond that. I'm not too sure when you're going to be able to walk this part of the trail, or if it will still be closed due to the construction. I can tell you that the trail winds through an environmentally sensitive area with over 30 rare plant species that have been designated. It's hard to believe that you're still in the city limits due to the quiet and stillness that surrounds you. Unless you're there when the train travels through. From the start of the trail on George Street to the end, where construction still might be in progress on Blenheim Road, is about 2.5 kilometers, though some maps have it at 1.7 kilometers. It's a there and back trail. You can walk as long as you want to before heading back to your car. Hilborn Regional Forest Trail. If you're looking at trails on the City of Cambridge map, you won't find this trail because it's maintained by the region. Hilborn is in the Fiddlesticks neighborhood of Galt at about 326 Burnett Avenue. The forest itself is not very big, and the trail is a loop trail that isn't very long. There is parking for about 3 cars in front of the forest, but street parking is allowed in this area. Just take note of no parking signs. There's a map at the start of the trail, and there's also garbage area for people to dispose of their dog waste bags. While the trail starts off quite flat, it is very hilly, and you have to be wearing the proper shoes to enjoy it. In winter you should have grips on your boots, and this spring it's going to be very muddy, so make sure that whatever you're wearing has enough traction for you to go up and down steep hills. The surprise on this trail is that it leads right to the edge of the Portuguese Swamp, a provincially significant wetland that's mostly owned by the City of Cambridge. The swamp has an abundance of birds and wildlife, and even in the cold months you can hear and see creatures around you. On the loop out of the forest you might notice that there is an abundance of hardwood trees like birch, maple, and oak. The region is trying to encourage the growth of these trees. If you live in the area, this can be a perfect walk if you need to get into some nature and clear your head. The last early spring trail walk I'm going to be taking you on is in the Hespeler area, Woodland Park Trail. This walk you can start out from the main street of Hespeler, Queen Street, where there's street parking. You're going to walk over to Forbes Park and take the path to the right-hand side so the bandstand will be on your left. Cross Forbes Street, and on the left side of the medical center, there's a paved pathway beside the water. Continue on this path and cross over to the next street, which is Rife Avenue, and you will see the sign for Woodland Park. The trail continues and leads you into a forest-type setting. If you've ever been nervous about walking alone through a forest, then this trail will be perfect for you. Even though you're surrounded by mature trees, You're never far from civilization as you're walking close to the homes in the area. This is a well-traveled path by the locals, and its charm is that it's meandering through a mature neighborhood. There are some steep areas again, so make sure that you're wearing the proper footwear for the season. As you dip into a hollow and then up again on the other side, you'll be walking beside a fence line, and then down again to Gun Avenue. Cross Gun and continue the trail through the row of shrubs. Throughout the whole trail there are many small exit paths that take you into the surrounding streets. This part of the trail continues to take you behind homes, and after a while you'll come out on Winston Boulevard with a small park across the street and Hesper Public School up the street to your right. Take a minute and catch your breath in the park. You can turn around and walk back through the Woodland Trail where you parked your car, or if you're curious about the neighborhoods, you can pull out Google Maps and walk through the streets of the subdivision to your vehicle. If you want to enjoy more of the outdoors in Cambridge, watch this next.